All right, I think I'm live. I think I'm live now. You don't see me. But one of the things I wanted to do was share my screen here, and I'm going to go over why you might not be want to be as confident as you are right now with your used car operations and sales. Now, if you guys never use Google Trends, you just type in google.com/trends. I'm going to type in used cars for sale. Now, this is just one example. You can do whatever, use Fords, what have you. Now, from here, I'm going to look at the last 5 years because these are patterns that we've been watching over the years, even like shopper counts and Auto Trader and stuff like that. These patterns pretty much fall the same. I'm looking nationwide. You can look at this in any state, and again, it's pretty much going to be accurate. What I want to do is show. Let's go back to 5 years. Now, November, December, and January, again, we see this on shopper counts on autotradercars.com and so forth, and along with dealers' sales traffic. But notice the peaks of when people shop for cars. It typically starts peaking in February and going into March. Okay, now I want to go back to this area of March 13th, almost 4 years ago. Okay, so you can see here on a scale of 100 where the potential search opportunity is, how many, it doesn't give you total numbers, it just gives you that peak. And so notice used cars for sale March 13th was at a 58. Okay, now what we typically see then is July, it drops down through June, and then July, August, you get a little bit of an uptick with summer sales events, and then it drops down throughout the winter up until January comes around. February it peaks back up, and then again March and April tend to have a little bit of a spring sell season, but let's go back to March 13th range again at a 51. And again, summer sales events hit somewhere around here, and then it drops off throughout the year, picks back up, goes through summer sales events, May, June, or July here, and then it drops out through December. Now, this pattern is pretty much year after year after year. We've had a good economy last year. Things picked up July, August, dropped back down through December. Now, what I want to point out here is you can see the peak here at February, but look at the drop off. It's down here in March. Let's do this. And it drops off around that March 13th area here, March 8th, and then March 15th, down to 34. Remember, it was up in the 50s previous years. So this uptick that we're seeing right now in used cars is the hangover from when people in March and April were not shopping. They started to pick back up. They're trending. This is kind of that pattern or trend. They don't know where it ends up. So basically, we're getting that hangover from March and April. All right. So at some point in time, it's going to level or drop down. Maybe even July sales events will happen. July, August. Summer sales events may happen. I doubt it. Manufacturers' supplies, new cars is pretty low. Chevy stores are out of trucks. Subarus are being told that no more being built. I mean, there's just a lot of lack of production on new cars, so that some big summer sales events may not be as happening. Maybe it flips over to used, but there's plenty of headlines that show, and I predicted maybe mid-June going into July, we see about a 10 to 15% drop in used car values, because by then these rental car companies are going to start liquidating inventory, even if it's a so-called lease that the rental car company leased from the manufacturer ain't going to want them back. So those cars are going to end up at the lane at some point in time. One of these big companies are going to have to liquidate. Lately they haven't, and of course they didn't want to liquidate anything right now and take the hit, and it's been able to sustain values right now. Everybody's complaining about high wholesale values, but it's the volume is there, and it's going to get worse on the wholesale end. And if you look at shopping patterns year after year, I don't think we've actually seen the true economy or recession that we're going to see out of this. So I do think you're going to see a big, let's go back here to 04 to present. Again, I think you're going to see a big drop off, and people actually wanting to buy cars once a true recession hits. There's big layoff announcements that are being made already between airlines and big manufacturing and companies. I heard that a automotive software company that's publicly a public company come June is going to lay off 30% employees, this in June. So, I mean, there's going to be another big set of layoffs happening. People have been kind of cushioned. I think people might have went and bought some cars before they lost their jobs so they can go replace their car now before it's too late, because if I delay my buying for 6 months or a year from now, because I just didn't really want it to stretch the car out, but if I wait 6 months, a year, I might not have a job and I can't replace the car. Then my car's out of whack and I don't have money to replace it. So let's just go replace it now where I still have my job before I get laid off. See, that kind of traffic could be happening right now. So again, what you're seeing in this is that spike to make up for what we missed. That is traditionally a shopper trend across the board. So I would give you caution to, as these cars start trickling in the market. I just seen in my LinkedIn feed yesterday an ad for Hertz's direct-to-dealer portal to sell cars directly to dealers. They're starting to advertise that right now to start pushing these cars. And eventually, once one of these companies let things go, the rest are going to follow suit. It's kind of like the stock market. Everybody's going to dump before it gets to the bottom, and then eventually it stops, and then here we are. And a lot of dealers could be stuck holding the bag. These are just predictions, speculations of what I sense because of what I'm watching in the headlines, what we're hearing from our dealers, what I've seen in shopper patterns for the last 7 years. We're going to see a drop off in buyers. This isn't going to continue in my eyes. The only thing that can stop it from what I'm saying not to be right would be if new cars are so dried up that the only thing people can buy is used, and they might just buy a later model used to make up the difference. But I just don't know if that's going to be there with the layoffs and things on the economy. I don't think we've hit the bottom of this economy in reality. I think we're still all in a fog right now of how things are going to come out, and it's going to take. I know states are opening and things are picking back up. As a business owner, that's great. I'm glad for that, but I also do think the confidence and customers spending money on high dollar products in a traditional season that they wouldn't spend it anyways, meaning again, June, July, August, September, this all drops down. They don't traditionally spend money there, and in those times, and if my inventory levels are high, this could be some trouble. So I'm just telling you, in my humble opinion, speculation is the spike that we're seeing right now is a makeup of what we missed in March and April, and that will die down at some point in time as the smoke clears on the economy. More people be laid off, and as government or whatever funding and other resources start running dry, people are going to be very cautious. So hopefully making you cautious. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to make sure you stay lean and clean, see what I see. And even if you don't agree, keep it as a thought. So if you start seeing patterns go this way, you know when to act. So hope this helpful. If you want a free inventory valuation, lotpop.com. Email me, jrice@lotpop.com, Facebook messaging, all these videos up on YouTube. Subscribe. You'll get notified when we go live. I hope this was helpful.